What if I told you that your reality isn't something you live in, but something you're dreaming up? Yeah, I get it. Sounds like New Age fluff, right? But here's the twist. Carl Jung, one of the most grounded minds in the history of psychoanalysis, actually believed that the outer world is a mirror of your inner one. In fact, you've probably been manifesting chaos without even knowing it. Not because you're broken, but because you were never taught how powerful your mind really is. And now, that's about to change. You see, while most people are desperately trying to fix the world outside, more money, more control, more approval, very few dare to look inward. Why? Because it's easier to chase than to transform. But here's the truth no one told you. You're not a puppet of fate. You're not a victim of circumstance. You are the alchemist, the creator, the one who holds the pen to rewrite the script of your own experience. The question is, will you keep living the dream of the planet, or will you wake up and create your own? In this video, you'll discover how ancient wisdom, Jungian insight, and modern energy psychology all point to one thing. Reality is mental. It's shaped by your thoughts, your emotions, your vibration, and most of all, your awareness. And if you learn how to work with these tools, not only will you heal, you'll thrive. No more waiting for the universe to save you. It's time to step into your power and use it with precision, purpose, and just a bit of wild imagination. The nature of the mental universe and collective consciousness. There's something most people never pause to consider. What if the universe isn't out there, but in here? Yeah, in the mind. Ancient traditions, from Hermetic philosophy to Eastern mystics, whispered this truth: all is mind. And now, even science hints at it. Quantum mechanics suggests that observation changes reality. Carl Jung, too, danced on that edge, exploring how the collective unconscious forms the scaffolding of our shared human reality. What you think of as objective might actually be a projection, stitched together by invisible threads of consciousness we all swim in. This isn't just philosophy. It's a wake-up call to claim your co-creator status. Take a moment to picture this. Someone walks into a room with a terrible vibe. They don't say a word, but everyone feels it. That's not magic. That's the energetic influence of the human mind. We're constantly broadcasting signals, not through Wi-Fi, but through intention and frequency. These signals blend into a larger pool, the collective consciousness, which shapes not just culture and trends, but the very fabric of reality. Your inner dialogue matters. It's echoing out into the universe like a mental ripple, affecting not just you, but everyone you're connected to. Which, spoiler alert, is everyone. Jung called this shared mental fabric the collective unconscious, and it holds symbols, archetypes, and instincts that guide our behavior without us even knowing it. Think of how people dream the same dreams across cultures: dragons, floods, serpents, sacred mothers. These patterns aren't accidents. They're proof of a deeper interconnectivity. In this infinite tapestry, your thoughts aren't just yours. They plug into an ocean of ideas, beliefs, and emotional patterns that shape what we call reality. Want to live a better life? Start by adjusting the way you think, because the universe listens. Here's where it gets even juicier. You're not a passive observer. You're a living transmitter in the universal mind radio. Ever notice how your vibe attracts your tribe? Or how, when you shift your perspective, even your circumstances start bending to that shift? That's because the universe isn't static. It's interactive, a dance between perception and manifestation. When you change your internal state, the world responds. It's not just personal growth, it's mental alchemy. And yes, it works faster than you'd think when it's done with spiritual alignment and inner integrity. So now the real question isn't whether reality is mental, but whether you're brave enough to steer it. Are you cultivating self-awareness? Or are you letting unconscious beliefs, inherited fears, and outdated ideas shape your fate? There's power in realizing that reality isn't fixed. It flows through thought, through emotional frequency, through the lens of consciousness. And if this sounds a bit wild, just wait until you dive into the next layer. how your very thoughts and imagination can bend the fabric of your experience. The power of imagination and thought in shaping reality. Imagination isn't child's play, it's divine architecture. Neville Goddard didn't just teach that imagination creates reality, he lived it. According to him, your inner scenes, rehearsed in silence, become the stage directions for your outer world. It's not about wishful thinking, but intentional vision. What you vividly imagine and emotionally believe to be true imprints itself on the subconscious mind, which then orchestrates your experiences. You're not waiting on destiny. You're painting it, stroke by mental stroke, powered by consciousness and faith. Now bring in Don Miguel Ruiz and his concept of the dream of the planet. He teaches that most people are trapped in a collective hallucination. Rules, roles, beliefs passed down without question. It's all conditioning, a mental fog. And yet, once you wake up to it, you realize, wait, I can dream my own dream. That's where freedom begins. When you withdraw your perception from mass illusions and start visualizing your own path with clarity, you tap into your inner power, your ability to transmute thoughts into form. Ever notice how your life tends to mirror your dominant thoughts? That's not coincidence. It's vibrational mathematics. Thoughts carry emotional frequency, and that frequency communicates with the universe. Think of it like a tuning fork. Your inner state rings out, and reality harmonizes to it. Want abundance? Start thinking abundantly. Want healing? Begin seeing yourself as whole. This isn't delusion, it's alignment. And alignment isn't passive. It's mental discipline, a daily return to the vision you're sculpting within. A simple exercise? Try this. Each night before sleep, imagine one scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Feel is real. See the details. Engage the senses. This is what Neville called living in the end. It's not affirmations on autopilot. It's inner embodiment. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. It just accepts what you repeatedly present. Do this consistently, and your outer world starts to catch up. It's not magic. It's mental alchemy. And here's the twist. Most people underestimate thought. They think imagination is fiction, but it's the blueprint of every breakthrough. From the pyramids to your smartphone, it all began as thought. So if the greatest architects of history used imagination to shape civilization, why wouldn't you use it to shape your destiny? That's the power we're walking with. And in the next breath, we'll talk about how your emotions amplify that power like a frequency dial on your personal reality machine. Emotional influence, vibrational energy, and reality manifestation. Emotions aren't just mood swings. They're magnetic frequencies, broadcasting your internal state into the collective consciousness. When Carl Jung explored the depths of the unconscious mind, he understood that emotions are messengers from the shadow and the self. But here's the kicker. Those messengers don't just whisper within, they ripple outward. Every joyful burst, every fear-laced thought, every wave of gratitude sends a signal. The universe isn't deaf, it's vibrationally attuned. So, your emotional state? It's either attracting healing or perpetuating struggle. It goes deeper than psychology. Emotional frequencies impact your nervous system, your hormonal balance, even your immune response. High-vibe emotions like love, peace, and gratitude shift your biochemistry, improving focus, creativity, and resilience. Meanwhile, chronic fear, shame, and anxiety compress your energy field, distorting your perception and magnetizing experiences that match. Ever noticed how one bad day seems to snowball? That's not bad luck. It's energetic influence at play. If you don't interrupt the pattern, you unconsciously feed it. So, how do you shift the signal? Start simple. Music, breath work, conscious movement. Choose songs that elevate your inner life, not drain it. Try breath techniques like box breathing to recalibrate your system. Or go for a walk in nature and observe the present moment with childlike awe. These aren't spiritual cliches. They're frequency tools. Your consciousness is fluid, and emotion is the current. Redirect the current, and you begin aligning your state with what you actually want to attract. This is practical philosophy, not fluff. You can also use journaling as emotional transmutation. Take a moment at night to write what you felt during the day. Not what you did, what you felt. This builds self-awareness, and awareness is the first step to transformation. As you recognize patterns, you gain choice. And when you choose to feel differently, you start vibrating differently. It's like switching radio stations. Tune into fear and hear static. Tune into love and the signal clears. Your emotions don't lie. They create. But here's where most people get stuck. They want a better life, but don't realize they have to become a better signal. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And what you are is a blend of thought, emotion, and vibration. Master this, and you don't just change your life. You influence the field around you. And speaking of mastery, let's go deeper. It's time to explore the ancient hermetic art of mental transmutation, where even the darkest thoughts become the raw material of light. Mental transmutation and the principle of polarity. Every emotion you feel, every thought that haunts or inspires you, exists on a spectrum. That's the essence of Hermetic philosophy, the principle of polarity. Hot and cold, same thing, different degree. Love and hate, same line, different direction. And here's the key. Once you grasp this, you realize you're not a victim of your inner storms. You're the alchemist. You can transmute anger into purpose, fear into focus, and sadness into wisdom. The human mind is a furnace, and you are its conscious keeper. But most people don't know they're holding the wand. They stew in anxiety without realizing it's just misdirected imagination. They suppress anger instead of learning from it. That's where awareness steps in. Awareness is the switch that lets you slide your emotional state along the scale. Instead of trying to erase negativity, you acknowledge it, understand its root, then transmute it into something usable. Carl Jung didn't say kill the shadow, he said integrate it. Because integration is where healing lives. A simple way to practice this: use the emotional reframing technique. When something rattles you, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this showing me about my belief system? Or, how is this helping me build resilience? That tiny shift in inner dialogue unlocks a completely different emotional frequency. Suddenly, you're not spiraling, you're sculpting. You've gone from passive sufferer to conscious creator. That's mental alchemy in action. It's how you gain control without suppressing the truth of your experience. Let's say you're feeling deep jealousy. Don't slap on fake positivity. Instead, look at what that jealousy reveals. Maybe it's pointing to unexpressed desire. Maybe it's showing you where you've abandoned your inner power. Instead of shaming yourself, transmute. Channel that energy into creative work, movement, or a bold step toward your own goals. That's turning poison into potion. The shadow isn't evil. It's raw material waiting to be reshaped by your consciousness. The deeper truth: every emotional state carries momentum, and unless redirected, it will repeat itself. That's how unconscious mind patterns loop through generations. But when you learn to shift your emotional temperature, like turning sadness toward compassion or frustration into passion, you step into mastery. You stop being a puppet of your moods and become the sculptor of your inner world. And when that inner world is forged with wisdom and intention, it naturally expands into the outer world. Which leads us to the final key: how to use all of this to evolve your soul. Harnessing mental alchemy for personal and spiritual growth. Imagine your mind as a cauldron, your thoughts the ingredients, and your awareness the flame beneath it all. This is mental alchemy, not just some mystical metaphor, but a real, practical framework for personal evolution. When you align your thoughts with higher intention and bring self-awareness into every internal reaction, you begin to transform ordinary experience into a sacred process. Carl Jung would call this the path of individuation, the unfolding of the self through the integration of all parts, light and shadow, reason and intuition, will and surrender. Growth isn't always fireworks and fanfare. Often, it's quietly choosing wisdom over reaction. It's catching yourself mid-thought and asking, is this belief serving my purpose or stalling it? That single moment of discernment is a revolution. That's the alchemical spark. When you tune your thinking to match your spiritual alignment, everything around you starts responding differently. Relationships, opportunities, even your physical health. You're not just shifting your life, you're upgrading your vibrational frequency and stepping into a new version of reality. One way to practice this is with intentional focus rituals. Start your day with 5 minutes of silent visualization, anchoring your energy toward a chosen outcome. Let's say it's abundance. Imagine how it feels, smells, tastes. This isn't daydreaming, it's conscious creation. The subconscious mind responds to repetition and emotion, not logic. Reinforce the identity you wish to become until it feels inevitable. Combine that with aligned action, studying a skill, reaching out to mentors, taking inspired risks, and you've created a bridge between the mental and material world. But here's the secret most miss. Mental alchemy isn't about constant positivity. It's about integration. It's using pain as a signal, not a sentence. It's honoring your inner dialogue with honesty while choosing to direct your energy toward healing and growth. It's okay to feel lost, angry, uncertain. That's part of the transformation. The key is what you do with it. Do you ruminate? Or do you transmute? Do you bury it? Or do you compost it into something fruitful? That choice defines your destiny. And ultimately, this entire process becomes less about fixing yourself and more about remembering who you already are beneath the noise. A co-creator, a channel of cosmic intelligence, a spark of divine will, dancing through time. This is what the ancient alchemists knew, what Jung pointed toward, what spiritual teachers like Neville Goddard echoed, that everything begins in the mind, but it is forged in consciousness. So now, with all the elements in your hands, thought, emotion, imagination, intention, the only question left is, what will you create? So now that you know, really know, that reality isn't happening to you, but through you, what are you going to do with that? Will you keep letting unconscious beliefs and inherited patterns write your future? Or are you ready to take back the pen and author your life with intention, clarity, and power? Because here's the deal. The universe isn't waiting. It's already responding to every thought, every feeling, every belief you broadcast. You're either shaping it or letting it shape you. What would your life look like if you trusted your imagination more than your fears? If you aligned with your emotional frequency instead of just reacting to it? If you finally stopped doubting your inner compass and started following the wisdom of your higher self? That's not a fantasy. That's your potential, right now. But only if you're willing to go beyond watching and start practicing. Ask yourself, what am I thinking on repeat that's keeping me stuck? What emotion am I addicted to? And most of all, what would shift if I transmuted that today? If something inside you is saying, yes, this is it, then don't ignore it. Follow it. Apply it. Use what you've learned. Let this be more than information. Let it become transformation. And hey, if this opened your mind or sparked something deep inside, then do one simple thing right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us as we explore how to turn invisible forces into real, lasting change. Your journey's just beginning. And trust me, it's about to get wild.